To last credit here for our very anticipated review of Logan. This is going to be a spoiler review. We're gonna get into it. The movie. If this is for people who have seen the movie afterward, just to get our thoughts. So if you haven't seen the movie, pause this video and go watch the film. You'll probably enjoy yourself. Go watch the film and then come back and watch this. And as I said before, this is a spoiler review. Wolverine dies at the end of this movie. Professor X dies in this movie. Deadpool shows up at the beginning of this movie.
And yet they didn't think to put Hugh Jackman in the beginning of the movie either because they're idiots.
There are a lot of missed opportunities in this film. So, yeah. Just a spoiler review. If you don't know that, then I'm sorry. If you're screaming at your computer like, how dare he say that? Well, it's a fucking spoiler review. When you clicked on it, it says spoilers in the YouTube title. It will probably say that. I will probably put that there. If I don't put that there, I apologize. Dylan?
Okay, a disclaimer right now. Till the last credit is not responsible for your own stupidity.
Exactly. Unless someone forgets to put the spoiler warning there. But hey, Dylan, how you doing today?
It was a pretty good day, I guess. So
now we have to hear about your day too.
Dude, I said, how are you doing? I didn't say how was your day.
Well, it sounds like he was about to go.
It was a pretty good day.
You think people came to the Logan spoiler review to hear about your fucking day?
I asked Aaron about that day because I wanted to hear about his day. I don't want to hear about your day, Dylan.
Oh. Well, that's disappointing.
That's disappointing. We're getting violent and angry in this.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Miller, how was your day?
Good.
Good, that's great. Will, how was your day?
Well, my day started out great. I was looking forward to seeing Logan, and then I saw Logan, and it all spiraled downhill from there. But I digress.
Okay, yeah. This is going to be interesting. So, yeah, we're just going to go into our thoughts about the film, what we liked, what we didn't like, and maybe even the future of the X franchise and where do we think Fox is going down the line. As you know, Logan is, I mean, if you've seen the movie, you know what this is. But, yeah, Logan is the final send-off to Hugh Jackman's 17-year run as Wolverine, a.k.a. Logan, a.k.a. James Howlett, a.k.a. My Current Mood. It's been a great run for Hugh Jackman. And this movie, for me, it's a nice send-off for his character. Was this movie everything? I think this movie meets my expectations from the trailers I've watched and how excited I've been. I think this movie does meet my expectations. I got to see a lot of things that I've wanted to see Wolverine do for a very long time. I got to see Wolverine Berserker mode. You got to see this really beaten down character dealing with his mortality and his immortality. And, you got to see, I think Caliban was the best he's ever been. Caliban.
Has he been in other ones?
Yeah, he
was back at the president of Apocalypse there.
Yeah, he was in Apocalypse. Yeah, no, he was in Apocalypse, but I think...
Okay. He lives on Apocalypse with Darkseid.
No, I remember.
Oh, thank you, Will. But yeah, Caliban was he was really good. I thought he was really good in this movie. Professor X he got Charles Xavier not Charles Xavier. That's not the actor's name. Patrick Stewart got to do a lot in this film.
James McAvoy got to do a lot in this film.
And Laura Keene, not Laura Keene, Daphne King. Getting these characters' names mixed up with the actors. Daphne King did a lot. I really did enjoy this film. Just, my simple overall thoughts. I really did enjoy this film. I did find some problems with it here and there, but this definitely is a proper send-off for this character. Miller, what did you think about this film?
I thought it was good. I had some problems. I had a good amount of problems with it, but the stuff it does really well.
Yeah. Dylan, what are some of your overall thoughts about the film?
I thought it was fantastic. I think it's I loved it. It's probably my second favorite comic book movie ever. As of right now, I can't think of any negatives. I've been trying to think of one, since I saw the movie, and so far I still can't. I might come up with one eventually, but I still can't think of any negatives. But I love it.
Great. Will, what did you think of this film? Will, I think you saw it today, correct?
I did.
Okay.
I thought of all of Dylan's negatives, so he doesn't have to think of any. I thought enough for both of us.
That goes for me too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie, and it's easily the best Wolverine movie, but that doesn't say a whole lot when you've got X-Men Origins bringing down the average. I had a lot of problems with this movie. You feel that you were satisfied that it delivered on the promises of the trailer. I'm not satisfied of that. To be honest, I felt like the trailer set me up for a movie that I didn't get. I didn't feel that this movie had the heart and the humanity that it promised. And I don't feel I don't feel that it was a proper send-off for Wolverine. I think that after 17 years, Hugh Jackman and Wolverine both deserve better. We'll get to specifics in a little bit, but I wanted this movie to make me cry, and it didn't. And that was really disappointing to me.
Yeah. So getting into just starting off with the things we did like, just starting off on a positive note. Will, what were some of the things that you took away from this film that you really enjoyed?
Well, like Miller said, the things that it does well, it does really well. And obviously everybody's performance in this movie was great. There wasn't any actor that I felt didn't give their all. The new actor playing Caliban, because it's not the same actor from X-Men Apocalypse, but you can still see them being the same character, which is good. But he was great. Obviously, Wolverine was probably, Hugh Jackman was probably, he probably gave the best performance so far of his X-Men career, or not really so far because it's done now, but I think this was his best turn as Wolverine, and I think he went in and said, okay, this is it. This is the end. I'm going to give 137%, and he definitely did that. Patrick Stewart was on point. The thing that I loved the most about this movie was the X-23 character. Oh, my God. For a 12-year-old girl, she was more badass than I ever could have hoped for. And I liked that. I really want to see her again. I want to see some way. And again, I said this leading up to the movie, and I still maintain it. I don't care how cheesy or stupid or corny Fox gets with it. I want her brought into the X-Men team films. Because I just or New Mutants, something. But I want to see her again. I want her to become, the new Wolverine in the movies the way she was in the comics. I want to see that shit. I think she was the little girl that played her is fantastic. The character was written well. Just everything about that character was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the plot of the movie. I mean, it was engaging. It did hit all the notes that it should have hit. James Mangold wrote a very good story, and it was executed for the most part pretty well by the screenwriters. Which Mangold was one of them, but there was like two others that I saw in the credits. There are a lot of positive things to say about this movie, which I'm glad we got the positives out of the way, because I'm going to trash the fuck out of this movie when we get to the negatives. But there are a lot of good things to say about this movie, and it is the best Wolverine movie to date. Not the best X-Men movie featuring Wolverine, but it is the best of the three Wolverine standalone movies.
Yeah, definitely not the best X-Men movie.
I don't think this is the best X-Men movie either, but still keeping on a positive note. Like Will said, I really did enjoy this film. Some of the things I really did like about it. X-23 was an absolute standout. The fact that we get to hear Laura, things like Laura in X-23, and just all these things set in live action and taken with so much care to develop this character, because she really was a little badass. And even her, when she started speaking, even when she wasn't talking, you still understood this character. When she finally started talking, you understood this character, about how damaged she is, and that she looks at Wolverine like a father, and that's very, very heartbreaking toward the end. At least for me, it was very, very heartbreaking. The final act when he died. By the way, this is a spoiler.
Spoilers.
But yeah, I mean, I loved X-23. I love finally getting to see Wolverine go full fucking berserk, and he's running through the woods, just tearing people up, jumping over people. It was fantastic. X-23's foot claws, it was nice to see that. The car chase in this film was incredible as well. That was very, very well choreographed. Boyd Holbrook as a villain. I think both of the villains in this movie, except for, well, there's another villain that's going to be in my negatives. But they're the Richard E. Grant and Boyd Holbrook. I love them as villains. Boyd Holbrook is an actor that loved being that guy. He loved being evil, and he just fully delivered on that. But yeah, James Mangold's directing, Hugh Jackman's performance. This is his best performance he's given as Wolverine so far. Just seeing, especially like the scene that's been floating through my head today is just when he's just like, I suck at this. Bad shit happens to people I care about. And I love that scene because he was really, it's just he's just digging through everything that's happened to him. So I really love that. Love what Patrick Stewart was able to do. I mean, like you said, Will, there's a lot of good to be found in this movie. And I really did enjoy it all out of it. And also the fact that how real it felt at times. It just felt like Wolverine is in your backyard. He's just doing his thing. It didn't really... There was a certain plot point that took me out of the realism. But for the most part, it did feel like you're like just a very realistic, grounded, gritty X-Men universe. But Dylan, what were some of your positives for this film?
Everything.
Moving on.
I can't think of the negatives, so...
Like, what were your standouts?
Everything.
Everything.
Okay.
X-23 was definitely a standout. Wolverine's death scene was a standout because that was my favorite scene in the movie. I think that's a beautiful scene and one of the best scenes in comic book film history. The opening scene where he beats the shit out of those dudes. Boyd Holbrook, I loved Boyd Holbrook. I loved him. Yeah, those were the standouts.
Nice. And Miller, what are some of your positives on this film?
I like how unique it was. It was definitely a film that knew what it was and stayed true to itself, unlike the Wolverine. With the whole Silver Samurai shit that feels out of place. And I think Boyd Holbrook is fantastic. He's definitely one of the best villains in the X-Men universe. Just like he's a villain, he's so good that you're watching him and you're like, if I was a villain in a movie, I'd want to be that guy. Because he's got the southern accent, the robot hand, he's got everything. Yeah. And I just like how this film does a good job of paralleling, they do a good job of putting Charles in Logan's shoes and vice versa. Like both characters go through what the others felt, and they do a good job of pulling that off without it being like, oh, it's the last one, we gotta have them go through the motions of everything. So that was really nice. And yeah, like everyone's been saying, X-23 is a little badass, and it was really cool to see her on screen. And I think not having her talk for most of the film was smart.
Yeah. I mean, it was a nice reveal. I mean, that's one of my favorite scenes of the whole entire, Ricta, Alicia, whatever the fuck she was saying, and then Wolverine just will you shut the fuck up? I love that so much. But, yeah, but switching into, now that we've gotten everything out of the way that we loved, we're gonna go into some of the things that we didn't like about the movie.
Oh, here we go. This is gonna be fun.
And I'm gonna start this one off. That fucking clone.
That was the stupidest. That was like the Santa Claus 2. It was so stupid.
That's what took me. The entire film, I'm thinking of this, they're going for this realism. And I understand. This is a movie, excuse me. This is a movie about a guy who has claws coming out of his fucking hands, and he has a clone daughter or whatever. I get that. But, like, I just don't like the whole entire, he has to, I wish that was Sabretooth. Like, I've been saying it, like, I've been saying this since I saw the film. I thought that was Sabretooth when he came out. I would have liked that if you're going to make this the final Wolverine film, why not have a final battle between him and Sabretooth? It could have been a clone of Sabretooth, sure. Like, but because he even looked like fucking Sabretooth. That's another thing that bugged me. He looked like Liev Schreiber. So, I just wish that was Sabretooth or Omega Red or just some other, either Omega Red or Sabretooth. There's some other character where he's not just fighting another Wolverine, because that's what it always kind of comes down to, you know? Each film has always come down to, you know, he's just fighting another version of himself. I really did not like that. This movie had some pacing issues as well. I wish it was kind of a little shorter and tighter, just to get to the point a little bit more. And yeah, it was just that, and also it didn't hit me like Will said. Some of it just didn't hit me the way I wanted it to. But yeah, it didn't take away from the overall full experience. But just that clone shit, I wish that was just gone, because that really did not need to be there. But Miller, what were some of your negatives as well?
Well, definitely the clone. That was one of the stupidest things I've seen in a while. And I agree with the pacing too. I thought it felt too long. And I also thought for a good bit the movie felt like a good bit at the beginning till, I mean, I like scenes here and there, but a good bit in the beginning leading up to where the woman taking care of X-23 gets killed. And then leading up to that, I thought the movie was very awkward, and it just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to be, and it was just trying to be different just for the sake of being different. But I thought it evened itself out. And yeah, just the like Darren and Will said, like the movie those deaths just didn't. Wolverine more than Professor X, definitely. But those deaths just didn't hit me in the way I wanted them to or expected them to. So that was disappointing for sure.
Yeah, maybe if there were more stakes involved because I like Professor X's arc that, you know, he killed the X-Men. Spoilers. He killed the X-Men and whatnot, but maybe I wish there was more stakes involved with his death. And I also I don't want to take away from Hugh Jackman's performance because it was great, but I kind of wish it was his reaction to Charles's death was a little bigger. Like it was a little bit more over the top. At least a little bit more over the top and a little bit more dramatic. But yeah. But Will, what were some of your negatives on this film? And everybody, just take a breath for a second. Will, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely make sure you have some popcorn ready. Well, I agree with both you and Miller, Darren, about the clone. I didn't like that he was very Terminator-like. Like, the whole time I'm watching this clone, I'm like, oh my god, why is he doing the Terminator? And then, yeah, I definitely, like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that saw that I don't know if it was his hair or what, but in silhouette, he definitely looked like Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth. Like, definitely. And that was something that every time I saw that clone, I just thought, man, he really looks like Sabretooth. I don't know that I wish that was Sabretooth. That would have been great. I didn't actually think of that, though, when I was watching the movie. I thought, okay, you have a dark Wolverine. Why is that not the dark Wolverine character? Why didn't they just get some younger looking guy with a mohawk, or put him in a mohawk and draw those crazy tattoos on him and make him Daken and have another character that they've brought instead of just doing a younger Hugh Jackman clone? The whole clone thing was disappointing. The Professor Xavier's death, when that happened, honestly, I checked out of the movie. Because for me, that was so unemotional there was nothing. His Professor Xavier's death in X3 was more powerful than his death in this movie.
I agree.
That is bullshit.
I agree.
I completely do not agree with you on.
No, when he is being held up by Jean Grey and you know he's about to just explode, and he looks over at Storm and Logan and just says goodbye, that is way more powerful than the death we got in this movie. Like, that tugs at your heartstrings. And then that movie went ahead and completely ruined that with its after credits sequence and cheapened it, but the death itself was a much more powerful death than this one. And here's, okay, in my theater at least, when he goes, I don't know if anybody else experienced this, but when he goes and beats the shit out of that truck after Professor Xavier dies, everybody laughs.
Yeah, a lot of people are laughing.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny too.
That to me is a cue that death missed its mark, because you shouldn't be seeing that as a comedy moment. You should be seeing that as Wolverine is flying off the fucking handle because the only mentor he's ever had in his entire 200-year fucking life just died. And that was another thing that got me. Professor Xavier...
That was meant to be a comedy moment.
I don't think that it was meant to be comical, and if it was, it cheapened the death, because that should have been a heavy moment, and it wasn't. So either way, whether it was meant to be comedy or whether the death just didn't hit the right chords and people took it as comedy, unintentionally, either way, for me, the scene didn't work. It didn't do what it should have done. Because you should have felt like the audience watching this movie, watching this character die, you should have had a emptiness in the pit of your stomach, and I just didn't feel it. And his death was empty. I would have liked it to have been, we all talked about before the movie came out, like, oh my God, what if Wolverine has to put him down?
She kind of did. But, just saying.
What?
I said he kind of did, just saying, but
Well, yeah, the shitty Terminator clone did.
The shitty.
But it just happened. It was something that just happened, and you're like, is that where he dies? And then later, when he actually does die, you're like, that's it? Really? I don't know. For me, I checked out of the movie at that point, and after that, I just started being like, oh my God, I just want this movie to be over. And then Wolverine's death, I've seen Wolverine die twice now, once in the comics and once in the movies, and I was unsatisfied by both of them. Neither one of them really hit a chord with me. And maybe it's because I had already emotionally checked out of the movie because I was pissed off at the Professor X thing. That's entirely possible. But I didn't feel like when he's dying or when he dies and she's, kneeling over him, calling him daddy, I didn't feel like that was earned. I felt like there should have been a scene there and more personal scene between the two of them. And I didn't get that. And we know you can't just say that it's because Wolverine's gruff character, because he's had those scenes before with Rogue in the train, that's the one that stands out. But we've seen Wolverine, lower his barriers, and we've seen him mentor somebody before. I feel like I would have liked to have seen him be a little more personal with her, and then like just one scene where they kill a bunch of fucking people and she's taking it really bad or something, and he just pulls her to the side and explains to her, but she was already a killing machine. She didn't need him to comfort her. But I kind of needed that scene for the daddy thing during the death to make sense, for that to be earned. Those are my main negatives. I mean, really, it was the two deaths that I felt just were really hollow. And another thing with the clone, okay, she, X-23 Laura, whatever you want to call her, she took the bullet, the adamantium bullet from Wolverine, and she kept it. And the way movies work, that's a cue that her personally is going to use that bullet in the final act. And knowing that there's the clone there, my first thought is, oh, she's going to kill the clone with the bullet. If they hadn't had that clone there, at least that would have, triggered something in the audience like, oh my God, what is she going to do with that bullet? Is she going to have to put Wolverine down? But none of that had any weight because the movie was just predictable. It was just so fucking predictable.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Darren.
In the whole entire, because that when she said dad, for me, that really, like, that, I was just like, I was like, fuck, that hurt. But when she said dad to me, you don't, in that scene's defense, and even in the death of Wolverine's defense, you don't think that scene in the cabin when he's saying, like, I suck at this, like, that back and forth between them where she's just like, when he's just like, you're going to have to learn, like, I've hurt people too, and he's just like, you're going to have to learn to live with that. Like, you don't think that was sort of that bonding moment?
No, because that's the thing, is he didn't open up to her. He just looked at her and said, yeah, well, you're going to have to learn to live with it. Like, he was just really cold toward her. He didn't warm up to her. I needed him to warm up to her.
I think that's because the relationship building that they did in that movie was very subtle. They didn't have a specific scene that was like, hey, look, they're bonding. It was just very subtle.
Yeah, but I see where Will's coming from, though, because just out of the blue at the end is like, oh, he's got to go save the kids. Oh, now we got to wrap everything up and make him like her, and oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it showed that subtly.
Yeah, and I think
their relationship building.
I mean, I can see where Dylan's coming from. I can see where Will's coming from, but I also think, like, throughout this entire film, there are remnants. You see remnants of Wolverine, of the hero, of the X-Men. Like, I have to do this because, I mean, this is who I am. Like, regardless of not of whether or not I want to run from this is who I am. I have to, I am still inherently, like, Logan is still inherently a good person.
Yeah.
His entire character arc in that movie builds up to him saving those kids and unleashing the hero that he really is. And then the relationship with him and Laura is built up subtly, like with just simple scenes like Logan laying on her and sleeping, and then the scene between them where he's like, I suck at this, everyone I care about dies, and even just the scene where Logan passes out and Laura goes and gets the kids to lift him up to the place. It's very subtle, and I think it worked better that way than just having one scene where it's like, hey, look, they care about each other.
I mean, now, I think that scene would have helped. Like, if something was in there where you felt that father-daughter bond, other than, like,
when he's
Wolverine
dying,
kind of hates you. like Logan kind of hates you. But I think that I can see where you're coming from, Dylan. But I think that scene would have given us a little bit more of a jump to where someone like Will or even Miller, we could have felt that a little bit more of that, like, that hurt when he's laying down and she's holding his hand, like, just felt that a little bit more. But yeah.
And also, I kind of feel like he should have died. He should have given his life for her, and that didn't happen. There was no sacrifice in this movie at all. Professor Xavier didn't sacrifice himself. Logan didn't sacrifice himself. All the deaths were just empty. There was no heroism. There was no heroism at all to Wolverine's death. He just got his ass kicked by a younger Wolverine.
Well, I think he was kind of.
And I like that. I mean, I like that she saved him, but she didn't really save him though, because he still died. See what I'm saying? And then the adamantium bullet thing kind of pissed me off too, because that's not how physics works.
I know,
I understand this is a comic book movie, okay? But if you're going to have fantastic things, there are other things where you have to play by the rules, okay? And that adamantium bullet, one, would not have blown off half of his fucking head because his skull is still made out of adamantium, okay? It would have to have been like an exploding adamantium bullet, and it wasn't. It was just an adamantium bullet. I really hate to give the upper hand to X-Men Origins about anything, but the way they did the adamantium bullet, it was a stupid way to erase his memories, but at least the bullet thing made sense. Okay.
Well, come on.
No, it really
that's
does not make no sense. No, I'm sorry. Like, that's all I was thinking about when his head exploded. I didn't want to bring that shit up, but Will brought it up. It doesn't.
Wait,
make any sense.
you mean when the clone's head exploded?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That bullet thing does not make any sense. It doesn't. Like, even Wolverine killing himself is just like, wouldn't you still heal? Like, what the?
Wait, and that's another thing. That's another thing. And again, going by the logic established, even if not the continuity, because we did have Days of Future Past and whatnot, but you still have to use the logic of that world. And the logic of that world is his brain will heal, but his memories won't grow back, okay? So he should have, the clone Wolverine, who was younger and in his prime, should have been able to heal from that. Logan wouldn't have. Logan would not have healed from that because his healing factor was on the fritz. But the Dark Wolverine definitely should have. And I don't know, that whole thing, it was a cheat. It was a cheat to me, and it felt just cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, so everybody just on the death part, like Logan's death, I thought it was very poignant. I like that I like the way they buried him. I think the kid holding the Wolverine toy, that took me out of it. But I like the way they buried him. I like, when I was watching, when they were watching that movie, when they had the Western and that guy was making his speech, I knew that speech was going to come back into play. And I like that Laura was reciting that over Logan. And I really, really like, because I agree with you, Will. I like his death in the comic books to an extent. I like the whole entire, like, he's looking off into the sunset. But I like this one better just with the turning of the cross into the X. Like, that is very... I love that. I love that a lot.
That image I did love. And that was great. And that was a great image to go out on.
Yeah.
I like that it didn't pan up. It didn't, nothing. You see, it holds on that wooden cross that's now an X. It holds on that and then just blinks to black, and then it's over. I really did like that. That was a great image to go out on.
How about you, Miller? Did you like that the actual burial scene? Did you like that, or?
Yeah, I thought it was well done. I don't really have any problems with. I think her changing the cross to an X could have been cheesy, but I don't think it really was. I think I'm not sure, kind of hard to describe like how they did, because they just did it, but I thought they did it well without making it feel that cheesy, which was really impressive.
And
I think making it a cross and then having her turn it into an X, I think that's what saved it from being cheesy. I think if they'd have just led with, oh, it's an X marker, that would have felt, I think, cheesy. You would have been like, oh, come on now.
Like, if the X-Men were burying him, like, sure, yeah, but them doing it's kind of weird.
Yeah. But it works because she is infatuated not just with Wolverine himself, but with the idea of the X-Men. She reads the comics. She's a fan. Yeah. And so, of course, she would want to honor him as an X-Man, and I liked that.
Yeah, and Dylan, of course, you probably liked the burial scene.
Yeah, I loved that they did the X thing. I thought that was the perfect send off.
Yeah, speaking of send offs, like, since we're at the point now that he's dead, Wolverine is officially dead. Where do you guys think the future of the Fox franchise? Guys can touch on Logan, but also the X-Men franchise, because I'm very excited with what they've done with Deadpool and this film. We're going to pretend Apocalypse didn't happen, and Days of Future Past. Are you really excited about what they're doing on TV with Legion? Like, are you excited about where this is going, and where do you guys think the future of X-23 goes? Like, do you guys think we're going to see another film? Do you think we're going to see a Laura? Like, there's just going to be a follow-up film named Laura? I mean, Will, where do you see this going?
Well, if they give her a movie, okay, which I think is kind of premature, but if they do, I'd like to see it called All New Wolverine. because I think that kind of fits with the scheme, and then that's the comic book. So, but anyway, that's just me. I don't want to see her get her own movie because, like I said, I think that's a little premature. But I definitely want to see her brought into the X-Men world, not just because Logan is very standalone. And I don't want her to stay apart from the rest of the X-Men universe. I want to see her interact with it. And not only that, but I think that she would play well with some of the other characters. And they kind of need a Wolverine going forward. And I want it to be her. There's all this buzz now. Oh, who should they recast as Wolverine? The answer is nobody. Okay, that's the correct answer. The correct answer to that question is nobody. They should use her. She should be the new Wolverine. Now, as for what I believe they're going to do, I don't think they're going to use her at all. I think that they're going to continue to disappoint me and leave this character where we left her at the end of Logan. But maybe that's just the pessimist in me.
Dylan, where do you see the franchise going, and do you want to see where do you see X-23 in the next few years?
I hope that I think that if Logan, which it probably will, considering it's set for a 72 million plus weekend, if Logan does well, that James Mangold will get to do the X-23 film that he wants to make, and I think they'll probably do that, and then they'll probably, I feel like they'll go for X-23 as the new Wolverine, then they'll let that sit for a while, and then they'll recast Wolverine a couple of years later. As for now, Fox is kicking ass right now with Legion, and they've got a new X-Men show coming along, and Logan was great, and we got Deadpool 2 coming along, so everything is looking good so far. So everything.
Speaking of that X-23, did he actually have any details on?
No, I didn't read it. I just saw that he wanted to make it. I didn't get to read the details.
Okay, and Miller, what do you think about the future of the X franchise, and where do you see X-23 or a new Wolverine?
I'm kind of with Will. I don't know if I want an X-23 movie like just right now, but I wouldn't be against it. And yeah, like you were saying, Darren, about I'm curious to see where they go now that it seems like they're letting the filmmakers do what they want, because we got this film, which a few years ago wouldn't be possible, and then we have Deadpool, which helped make this film possible, and one of the best things that film did. So yeah, I'm just curious to see where this X-Men franchise goes, or not just X-Men, but the Fox universe, because maybe we can get a good Fantastic Four movie out of those. Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, and we're going to wrap this up soon enough, but just last but not least, we have to touch on this, talking about Logan, that Deadpool teaser. Just quick thoughts. I thought it was fucking hilarious. I was dying.
It was great.
I was dying of laughter. The Logan posters in the background. Nathan Summers is coming. It was great. It was unexpected. I didn't know about it going in. I'm really happy I didn't know about it going in. Fuck you, Screen Rant. Sorry, but I didn't know.
Not just Screen Rant. A lot of people
I know everybody's doing it. I didn't know about it going in, but I really enjoyed it. Dylan, how did you feel about the Deadpool teaser?
I thought it was fucking great. I thank God that they did not put that in the as an after credit scene. I thought it was just fucking hilarious. It was the perfect comedy for a very dark and depressing movie. It was perfect. It was like, okay, here's some fun stuff. Now we're gonna get to this depressing stuff. But yeah, and David Leitch directed that too, which excites me even more. So yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah, and Will, what did you think about the Deadpool teaser?
Man, I'm about to break some hearts. I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was. I thought it was forced. I thought a lot of the comedy was just dry, and I don't know. I didn't laugh. I didn't think it was funny.
Well, you did call it on us seeing Ryan Reynolds' ass in Logan, though, so good on you for that.
Yeah, well, pressed up against a phone booth. So I did enjoy the Superman theme though, and that it kept playing, it kept swelling as he was changing very, very, very slowly. Yeah, I didn't laugh. I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But I know now you're going to have these idiot fanboys that are going to be all over Twitter and everything going, see, Deadpool was in Logan. No, motherfucker, that was before the movie, okay? He was in a pre-credit sequence.
And it was stupid that they didn't put Logan in there.
It's really stupid.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I agree with that. Why was there no... I mean, yeah, he wouldn't have fit in that scene that they wrote, so you write a better scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I mean, this is the one chance that we would have had to have seen Wolverine and Deadpool together in a movie that's not X-Men Origins. And those two played off so well in X-Men Origins pre the Baraka Pool stuff. And yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen them together just for that little snippet, but
imagine if instead of the Wolverine clone, it was the Deadpool from X-Men Origins.
Oh God!
Hugh Jackman should have been the one that was getting robbed.
Or you should have been. You know what you should have done? A 3-minute sequence of Deadpool and Wolverine kicking ass. Done simple.
Or at a bar or something like.
Yeah, just like.
Actually, now that Dylan brings it up, if Hugh Jackman, not Wolverine, but Hugh Jackman, just wearing regular clothes, playing a different character, if he'd have been the one getting robbed, that also would have been a subtle illusion, not illusion, but it would have subtly alluded to the climax of the film. I think that would have been nice.
Yeah.
I think I would have liked that. And I think a lot of people, it might have even thrown them off the trail of Wolverine dying, because most people would have been, expecting to see Wolverine die and be like, oh, yeah, they killed Hugh Jackman at the beginning. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. But, yeah, I thought it was funny. Miller, any more thoughts on the Deadpool other than they should have had Logan in there?
I mean, I really like the style. I don't know, how, I guess that could be a lot of David Leitch, I'm not sure to pronounce his name. So I'm a lot more excited for Deadpool 2 because I just like that. That was a really unique style, and in a film like that, I thought was with the first Deadpool, I thought was very lifeless with some of when it wasn't being an action scene. I like how it looks now.
Yeah. Yeah, but
well, and it does signal that they do plan on continuing with Deadpool 2, the brilliant marketing campaign that they had in Deadpool 1.
So, just wrapping it all up, Dylan, final thoughts on Logan.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's the best X-Men movie to date, and one of the best comic book movies ever. I loved it.
Miller, final thoughts on Logan?
It was good. Really disappointing in places, but it did a lot well, and yeah, I just wish I would have enjoyed it more, but it's definitely better than I probably ever expected a solo Wolverine movie to be.
Will?
Yeah, I pretty much said everything I had to say. It was all right. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Certainly not the best X-Men movie ever made, but definitely the best Wolverine movie.
Yeah, with me, definitely the best Wolverine movie. Where it fits into the X-Men timeline, I'm going to let it simmer. I'm seeing the movie again on Sunday. I just need to let this simmer. Nice. I'm going to let this movie simmer and wait for a second. But honestly, look, I think Logan is an excellent, poignant, violent fucking send-off to this character. I'm happy we got to see Hugh Jackman go all 17 straight years. I'm happy we got to see X-23 finally on screen. And I'm happy that we got to see this film from a competent director. I'm not going to diss on X-Men. I like that this franchise kept learning from its mistakes and we got here. I like that,
Yeah.
X-Men Origins, okay, we screwed up a little bit, let's move to Wolverine. Okay, Wolverine, we screwed up a little bit, we got some stuff right, but we screwed up a little bit at the end there. Let's move on to Logan. We learned our mistakes, and we did it. And a lot of people are loving this film. Not all of us on this panel, we're not all blown away, but a lot of people are loving this film. A lot of people are embracing it, that, this is what they wanted to see. I'm really happy that James Mangold got to tell the vision of his story and really deliver a film that he wanted and really give us a unique approach to a superhero movie, because it proves that the genre can go places, and that this isn't going anywhere anytime soon, because we continue to see in films like Logan that we can explore different venues and really focus on these characters as people. So I really do enjoy that. But yeah, Logan was great, and this was our spoiler podcast for Logan. So but most importantly, what'd you guys think of the film? Did you guys like the film? Did you guys hate the film? Are you a little bit more with Will? Are you a little bit more with Dylan? Or did you love it completely? Are you running through the woods like a crazy person, like, yeah? Or are you running through the woods looking for Fox executives, like, where the fuck are you? So please let us know in the comment sections below. Dylan, where can people find you?
At OGNDV on Twitter.
Darren, what the hell? Sorry. Miller,
At Miller Farrow on Twitter.
Will, where can people find you?
You can send your hate tweets to at Will Avitt, WILAVITT, or you can send me some hateful messages on Facebook, facebook.com/WillAvittCritic.
I welcome those too.
All right.
And you can find me at Darren Leslie Jr. at Darren
Need for hate mail on the next podcast.
at Darren Leslie Jr.'s Reviews, and you can also find me. I'm going to start doing morning jogs at 6 a.m. in a t-shirt, running through the woods screaming. So you guys can find me there. And with all that being...
hang on.
That's a
One
cool Twitter
more
handle.
thing. One more thing before we sign off. I meant to bring this up and I completely forgot, but you just mentioned the woods. Are those the same woods that they filmed X3 in? Because I know all woods kind of look the same. They're kind of full of trees and stuff, but that really looked like the Morlock hideout from X3.
They're kind of full of trees and stuff? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Wasn't that in California? Weren't they near San Francisco?
But did anybody else get that X-Men 3 Morlock Forest vibe from that area?
Now that you think about it, yeah.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, but I think that was in California, right? Wasn't it?
I don't know.
In X3, that was in California. In this movie, they're at the edge of the border. So, in all honesty, they're probably out of Louisiana. But also, one more thing, since Will brought up the woods, I know we're trying to sign off here, but guys, think about this: Wolverine, the woodcutter. Guess what killed him? Wood.
How ironic is that?
Full circle, guys. This is two of the last credits, signing off, and we'll catch you guys next time. I tried to come up with something clever, but...
You just had a stroke.
Yeah. Call 911.
Oh.